Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I install a ReadyLift leveling kit on my 2018 Toyota Tundra. This kit should lift the Tundra 3 inches in the front and 1 inch in the back. You can find the link to purchase this kit from Amazon in the description below. This is my third big modification on my Tundra. I added the anytime front and backup camera and also added the hose scoop that comes with the Sport Edition. You can find the link to these videos below. I am planning to do a lot of modifications to my Tundra, so if you are interested, click the subscribe button below. Lift the front side of your truck. I use 2 jack stands to keep the truck lifted. I use a jack to lift one side at a time in order to place each jack stand. Remove both front wheels by removing first the center caps. Use the secure socket that came with your truck to remove the secure nuts. Then remove remaining nuts. Remove the front cover by removing first the 3 bolts holding the front bumper cover. Use a 10mm socket to remove the first 3 bolts. Then proceed to remove the 12mm bolts from the cover. Remove first the 2 bolts in the front side of the cover. Then remove the left and right bolts from the back side of the cover. Then carefully remove the last bolt from the middle of the back side while holding the cover with the other hand. The cover will not fall from the front side because there is a hook holding it. You will have to lift the cover from the front side and then slide it to the driver's side direction. Disconnect the sway bar links by removing the bolts in the bottom side of the link. Now remove the sway bar brackets. First, remove the rear side bolt from the driver's side bracket. Then, remove the rear side bolt from the passenger side bracket. Loose, but do not remove the front bolt from the passenger side bracket. Now loose, but do not remove the front bolt from the driver's side bracket while holding the sway bar with the other hand. Remove the sway bar holding it at both sides and set aside. Now make a mark to the 4 alignment clamps. This is recommended to facilitate the alignment process later. Now, loose but do not remove the 4 alignment clamps. From now on, let's focus on the driver's side assembly. Now, remove the nut of the lower shock bolt located in the lower control arm. Remove 2 bolts from the ball joint bracket using a 22mm socket. Remove the lower shock bolt. Be careful with the lower control arm because it will go down as soon as you remove the shock's lower bolt. You can place a jack below the lower control arm to hold it. To remove the shock strut, remove 3 out of 4 nuts from the upper shock assembly. Keep remaining nut loosened, but do not remove for now. After removing the 3 nuts, hold the shock with one hand and remove the remaining nut with the other hand. Then let it go down carefully until you have enough space to remove it. Note that the shock has an arrow mark indicating the front side. Align the shock arrow mark with the spacer mark. Now apply LocTie to the 4 bolts. Then place the 4 original nuts. Keep the new nuts for the final installation. Secure the shock by placing a bar in the lower section of the shock. Now tie all 4 nuts. All should be tightened to 47 pounds of torque. Add LocTie to the 4 bolts. Then fit the shock assembly into position. Make sure the arrow mark is pointing to the outside. Make sure the touch mark from the spring are positioned to the outside too. Remember to have one nut on hand so that you can use it while holding the shock with the other hand. Don't tie the 4 nuts too much. The reason is that you need the strut to have some movement in order to accommodate or to fit the shock into the lower control arm. Now set the lower control arm into position and fit the lower shock bolt. You may need to use a bar to fit the shock into the right position. Add red LocTie to the bolt. Now install the nut. Now torque the nut to 141 pounds. Place a strap from the upper to the lower control arm to help guide the lower ball joint into position. Continue to tighten the strap until the ball joint is in position. You can also use a jack for greater force. Once the ball joint is in position, add LocTie to one of the bolts and install it. Then add LocTie to the other bolt and install it too. Then torque the 2 bolts to 221 foot-pounds. Set all 4 alignment cams into position by aligning the marks. Then hold the nut and tighten the bolt to 207 foot-pounds. Now go back to the upper shock mat and torque all nuts to 47 foot-pounds. Now complete the same procedure we did to install the spacer in the passenger side. Place a jack below the front differential box. Then remove the 2 bolts holding the differential brackets. You will have to hold a nut in the upper side above the chassis bar. And this is how the differential spacer looks after its installation. This is the nut that needs to be held for the bolt remover or installment. And after both bolts are in place, remember to torque both to 89 foot-pounds. Also, remember to add some red LocTie to the bolts. Alright, so far we have installed the majority of the kit. The front side is a more difficult one, the rear side is more easy to do. Um, on the second part, I'm gonna show you how to install the front cover spacers, how to install the rear lift spacers, and also I'm gonna show a before and after comparison. And also very important, I'm gonna talk about my experience installing this kit by myself, so that will help you decide if you are thinking to install it by yourself or pay for it. Okay, so stay tuned, subscribe to this channel if you like the content. Feel free to add any comment, any suggestion, feedback, all are welcome. Thanks for watching and see you on my next video.